Privileged to introduce Dr. Arpit Gupta, who is Assistant Professor in Oral Health Sciences Center at PGI Chandigarh. His topic is adherence to the tobacco-free educational institutions guidelines, implementation, I suppose, in rural schools of Raipurani block of Haryana. Dr. Arpit Gupta, very welcome.
Thank you, sir. I hope I'm audible. Just wanted to confirm.
Yes, very much.
Thank you, sir, for a generous introduction. And for the next 5 to 7 minutes, I plan to talk about this short study, which we had undertaken at the intensive field practice area in Raipurani block, where we had been working with these schools, and almost like 200 schools we have been working with since 1984. So it's been more than 35 years that we are working with them. And I had distributed this presentation into 4 broad domains about the background, current situation, objective methodology and results, and we'll be talking in end about the stakeholders' role. So as we all know, and we have been talking a lot about it for last 2 days, and tobacco kills more than 8 million people every year, and industry is busy, finding new consumers to maintain their revenue. And for decades, the tobacco industry has deliberately employed strategic, aggressive, and well-researched tactics, including the most important one, that is targeting the youth. And schools are an easy target. And if we talk about the Indian scenario, we all know that in India alone, around 1 million people are losing their lives every year because of tobacco alone. And we had this global youth tobacco survey. It is little old. The recent one is we are still awaiting for the reports, and which says that almost like 15% of our youth uses tobacco in some form of the other. And we expect some increase in this number this time, and it's just an expectation. And we are aware that the COTPA Act and the National Tobacco Control Program is been working quite hard in bringing down this prevalence of tobacco use. And in continuation with this, there is something, as we are aware, that the National Tobacco Control Program under the Government of India has developed the guidelines, namely the Tobacco-Free Educational Institution Guidelines. And these guidelines are very well there for quite some time, but the successful implementation or adherence to these guidelines is still a challenge. So with this, we had conducted the study to assess the adherence to the Tobacco-Free Educational Institution Guidelines, which we also call as TOFI guidelines, in the schools of Raipurani Education Block of Haryana. And we also plan to compare the TOFI scores of government and private schools. It was a cross-sectional survey, and we had gone ahead with a census sampling in which we covered all the 84 schools in this very block of educational block of Haryana. And we had used a validated 9 criteria checklist of TOFI guidelines. If we look at these guidelines, they are broadly distinguished into 3 main areas. First is the first 2 items talk about direct information, and they are mainly concerned about the display of tobacco-free signages inside the school premises as well as at the entrance or at the boundary area. The third item talks about the tobacco-free environment, which specifically talks about no evidence of use of tobacco inside the school premises, like cigarettes, BD butts, or discarded tobacco pouches, or the spitting spots. The next domain talks about the organizational culture, and the last one talks about enforcement, which is about the marking of 100-yard area around the school boundary, and also whether there is any shop selling tobacco within this area. So these domains lead to a scoring system which has been developed, where we had a mandatory score of 50 and a maximum score of 100. And any school, if it attains the score of more than 90, then it is said to be a tobacco-free school. So with this background about the TOFI, we went ahead. We had taken ethical approval followed by permission, which was a tedious task because permission is to be obtained from the district, from the director of health services, as well as the director of school education. And after that, we had taken an informed consent, and the team of investigators visited the school during the school working hours. And the 100-yard area of the school premises was covertly observed for tobacco sale, and photographs for perceived violations were clicked. Now, coming on to the outcomes of this study, we found that none of the schools complied with the tobacco-free status, none of the schools, and only 2 private schools could reach the mandatory score of 50, only 2 private schools. And among the government schools, none of them could reach the mandatory score of 50. And all the private and few government schools had successfully implemented the ban on tobacco sale within 100 yards. And overall, the compliance score, if we talk about the compliance score overall, it was found to be better for private schools as compared to government schools, but still it is far way behind. I mean, if we talk about maximum score of 100, then the compliance score, overall compliance score, is only about 15.68, which is quite low. And we found a significant difference between private and the government schools over here. Before proceeding further, let us talk about tobacco, which we all know it is a multi-sectoral problem. And there are many stakeholders whose utmost commitment is required for effective implementation of these guidelines. And specifically talking about the stakeholders, we try to distinguish them into 4 various zones. First and foremost is the education department, the schools, the management, and the education boards. And these are the prime areas, the first place where the information about violation should be reported or should be initiated. So the educational boards have to consider the accreditation policies. CBSE has endorsed these guidelines, and that is the reason why we think that private schools are doing relatively better as compared to government schools, because they are complying to some extent with those CBSE norms. So the education boards have to look into the accreditation policy, and the TOEFL scores have to be considered somewhere or the other. As far as the health department is concerned, the program management, the management of National Tobacco Control Program, the management of these guidelines, and it will act as a catalyst in bringing together all the other stakeholders and taking it ahead. Apart from it, capacity building, bringing it to the conscious level of the school authorities, to the school management, of the local tobacco control authorities, that such guidelines exist and they have to be implemented. So the health department has got a key role to play. And again, monitoring and evaluation is again very important, and developing best practices. I mean, we had a webinar a couple of days back on this very topic of TOEFL, Tobacco-Free Educational Institution. And it was very heartening to notice that some states like Assam, Tamil Nadu, they are doing quite well. And I would just like to share that in Assam, they have trained the NSS cadets, the 35,000 NSS cadets have been trained, and they are working with the school authorities to raise up their voice or to report any violation and to comply with such guidelines. So such kind of best practices should develop up, and they have to be publicized across the country so that other areas where these are not being implemented in such a beautiful way, they should take up. Coming on to the district administration or the police, which plays an important role, and enforcement is primarily a task of the district administration and the police authorities. So, but they have to be sensitized. So again, they have to be taken into loop. And last but not the least, the community. As we all know that no program succeed unless and until there is community acceptance or there is community involvement. So we have to take community and the NGOs into loop. And it is quite heartening to note that some NGOs, and I would like to name a few, like Sambandh Health Foundation, or let's say Salam Bombay, they are coming up in a very enthusiastic way to support such initiatives. And even to share here that Sambandh Foundation has come up with an application, a mobile application, which is basically an easy way of recording the compliance of schools, and also to what you call as escalate the violation. So these practices have to be taken up by various states and by various districts and also by various schools. So with this, I just want to conclude saying that there exists a substantial gap with reference to adherence of TOFI guidelines in this study area. And I'm sure there must be many more areas where such gap exists, and tobacco-free school status to be considered as mandatory during the accreditation process, and school should be issued certificate by the local health and education departments. And this is what is going to motivate the schools to comply with these guidelines. And a detailed implementation framework along with a robust monitoring mechanism is the key. And with this, I want to thank each one of you, and a special thanks to the co-authors of this very research, and namely Dr. Sonu Goyal and Professor Ashima and Professor Krishan Gaba, as well as Dr. Amit Kumar from PGI Chandigarh. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Arpit, for a very impressive study. I think the devil lies in implementation, therefore. But I liked the way you have categorized the TOFI guidelines and stakeholders' responsibilities. The need I consider is a full-timer in somebody at the district level team of the NTCP